What's up, crypto fam? It's Phantom. We are looking at a bullish pattern continuing on Bitcoin, which thought it'd be a while before I said, but it's looking better and better. Obviously, still hugely dependent on the world and the news in the world, but this is a pretty strong breakout. We came back down and even tested this new support level, and it held, and we continued upward, which is a really strong correlation to being back into a bull market. So I'm extremely hopeful. I think the time, for me at least, not financial advice obviously, to start looking for setups in the altcoin market is fast approaching. So I'll for sure be keeping my eyes out. Some possible setups. I mentioned one on my Twitter. H bar looks like it's forming a second double bottom here. The last time it formed a double bottom, we shot up to almost to 55 cents plus. And this looks to me like a second double bottom. So I'll be watching H bar really close. Bitcoin obviously is the one I'm paying my closest attention to, because if Bitcoin doesn't sustain this type of upward momentum, the altcoins will get punished. The altcoins will pay. So it's a matter of timing this correctly to make sure that we stay in a continuation pattern for the bullish moves upward. And it's more important than ever now, I think, with this being, our third cycle on the way up. It's more important now than ever to take profits, to actualize gains. Take the small wins over and over is what I'll be doing. Obviously, your investment, your choices, but I think I'm going to attack this with much smaller percentage gains and just hopefully compound them. Tight stop losses and in case of pullbacks. But yeah, now that we've kind of started to create our support range, I think there's a strong chance that we continue the upward movement. I've drawn out what I see as the next targets for resistance that I think are going to be difficult for us to get through. This one obviously isn't overwhelming, but it's right around the 50k region, 49, 50k. I think that's going to present some problems. So if you're, looking to get back into Bitcoin around that time, you always want to be mindful that it's not a great decision to buy near an area of resistance. You buy support, you sell resistance. So there's a decent amount of resistance here at the 49, 50k region, and then obviously a good amount of resistance anywhere from 56k to 58k. I think if we break through 58k, it's moon mission upward. So yeah, this is looking very healthy. We're starting to actually slightly decouple from the S&P, which is really surprising. We've been coupled to it for a long time. We're up to a $2 trillion market cap, and I thought it would be closer to the $10 trillion market cap before we really started decoupling. But the S&P, I think for its second day, it looks like it finished break even just about. It's negative, it's red on the weekly, where Bitcoin's just pushing hard. So, love to see it. For the news, the Fear and Greed Index just bumped up a single point. It's at 52 now. So, we're in neutral territory, which is good and bad. I'd like to see, Warren Buffett famously said when there's blood in the streets, he's greedy, and when people are greedy, he's fearful. So neutral's an okay territory to be in, but the more things look up, the more profits I want to start taking, because I don't want to be part of the rug pull again. I avoided a lot of it last time, but I still got hit with a portion. So I'm still holding all those coins, so I technically didn't get rug pulled, but definitely had negative balances on some of the coins that I invested in. The ones from 2017 are still doing really well, but ones that I invested in during the market last year, obviously we're in the negatives, and they're starting to recover now. Now that Bitcoin's kind of coming back stronger, the altcoins should start to come back. I think it's going to take Bitcoin continuing up, but I think the more resistances that Bitcoin breaks, the more altcoin craze that's going to go on. So I think altcoins continue to do well in this market, but I think a lot of people are waiting to ensure Bitcoin does this for a strong period of time, tests previous support levels, bounces off those support levels, shows multiple signs of strength, and then I think altcoins are going to be in season again. Just a few articles that I found interesting today. The CME Group is to offer micro Bitcoin and Ethereum options. This is a big deal. This is the world's largest futures and options exchange by daily volume. And they're going to start offering micro Bitcoin and Ethereum options to all their clients. So that's a big deal. This is breaking into a territory that was only owned by the stocks before. So Bitcoin and Ethereum being part of this futures exchange, this is a good thing. This is the road to adoption. More and more people are finding out that there is value in being in the space. So this was great to see. Another bullish news that we saw today, the EU rolled back their controversial writings that they did, declaring that they were going to ban some specific cryptocurrencies or regulate them to points where they wouldn't be useful, and they rolled that back today. So that's more great news. I think they're realizing the strength of cryptocurrency assets. I think a lot of the world is moving to a place where even if they're not behind Bitcoin, the idea and fundamentals of cryptocurrency are extremely powerful. You know, for Europe, maybe creating like a digital euro or something like that has real sustainability. It's future thinking, and I'm happy to see these big countries and continents getting involved, trying to do proper regulation, because regulation is important, and educating themselves and the public on the benefits that can be had in the space. The last bullish piece of news that I found, yesterday I mentioned that Aunt Kathy was all about Bitcoin and how she thought it'd hit $500,000, and Bitcoin will hit $100,000 is something that Time Magazine now has reported on. So this is two big players in the space, both pushing that Bitcoin's going to do big numbers this year and future years. So really exciting to see. Really exciting to see. So just looking at the market, Bitcoin is continuing to hold strong, and that's encouraging me to start looking at opportunities in the altcoin space. That said, I think for me, I'll be watching closely. I think H-bar's at a really good point of opportunity. I think this is a second double bottom. And if I'm right and it's anything similar to the last double bottom that we had, it was a rocket ship up for a few weeks. So yeah, it looks like about a month or a month and a half or so of just about continuous upward movement. So H bar is definitely one I'm watching. I mentioned comp on my stream a few days ago. Since then, it did bottom right around the area that I mentioned on stream, right around $110. It's up $16 as of now, and I think it's just getting started. It doesn't have a real resistance zone until it hits almost $200. So I'll be looking at compound and getting into that. The last setup that I'm interested in, actually I think there's two. I think Atom still has some room to grow. I think it's going to be testing near its highs in the $43 area. So I'll be looking at Cosmos for sure. And then VeChain. I think VeChain is another one where we've bottomed, I believe. And we should be, I'm hoping, starting our recovery process. There's obviously small pockets of resistance for VeChain, but VeChain capped out at almost 29 cents when we first had the bull market. So it being at 5 cents right now is a steal. That's a 5x gain if we just meet our previous highs, which if we continue upward and have a third run at this, I think that's easily achievable. So those would be the ones that I'm watching for the next few days. I may start just trickling in a little bit. Obviously not financial advice, but with Bitcoin testing this previous resistance zone, and now created a support zone for itself, I'm more bullish. That's a strong sign. That's what we drew before, right? When we break through resistance, come back down, test it, and then continuation upward, right? And I'll show you what I mean. This obviously is drawn on a weekly chart, but if we take this back to a daily chart, you can see here that Bitcoin broke through the resistance level, previous resistance level. The next day, which was today, before closing, it came back down and it tested this line of support. And the support held. Then we continued upward again. So that means this support structure is now in place and should be some sort of protection for, any pullbacks that we do have. So I am looking very much for further upward movement at this point. And I think it's time to start at least just dipping my toes into the altcoin market. I'm not going to, be dumping anything substantial in it just yet. I'd still like Bitcoin to, break through another resistance or two. That said, it's showing very bullish momentum right now. So it would be, I think, a mistake to fade that on, at least in my investment strategy. So always make sure you use super tight stop losses. I think a lot of people in the space have been burned by these two runs that we've had so far, and obviously the very quick, strong breakdowns that come after. So the best advice that I can give is, I think people are fearful in the space because they don't have a plan. Too many people are on crypto Twitter or, getting advice from friends or family, and they don't have a plan of their own. So my best advice is, find out what plan works for you. If that, one of the plans that works best for me is buying support areas, selling resistance areas. Some people rather the Elliott wave theory and do the wave counting. Some people like to draw trend lines and base it off that. Some people like to do candlestick for their TA. There's a number of different avenues out there, but find a plan that works for you and test it, document it. So before I started doing this support and resistance, buy and sells, I found out what my likelihood of success is. And this is the trading setups that I have the highest success rate at. That means when I do have losses though, I have tight stop losses. So I'm not getting rug pulled anymore. I'm not caught out in the open. So have a plan. It'll give you confidence. Make sure that plan continues to develop. But create a plan, make it successful, continue to work on it until it's successful, and that will give you the confidence that you need to start investing into these currencies and making, some real gains, some real wins. So that's all I have today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Consider following, subscribing, follow me on Twitter. I'm still pushing to do these daily. I have my first follower. I'm pretty excited about it. Probably was a misclick, but I'm going to take it. I'll keep on pushing out what I think is important news to have. I'll keep showing my chart analysis. And now that we're back in a bullish period and actually making moves and not sleeping like grandpa in the space, I'll start putting out some more altcoin charts. So if you have any requests or anything like that, for sure message me or DM me on Twitter or leave a comment if you see this on YouTube. And until then, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Have a great rest of your night. Have a great Wednesday. Until next time, peace.